Hi there, Chris here. So I've been doing a lot of long arming this week, and the next one I'm going onto the long arm is a very special one, so I wanted to show you the quilt and how I'm going to approach it from a long arming standpoint. So my friend Aisha sent me this quilt top to quilt. It was made by her grandparents. All of the fabric was hand cut by her grandfather, and her grandmother hand stitched everything together. This top was made in the 1950s, 1960s, around that time period. Now, because it was hand stitched, there are some areas where you can see the raw edges of the two pieces that are joined together. So what I'm going to do first is give this a really good pressing. And what I'm going to be doing is making sure all of the seams are pressed to one side. Now, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know I love pressing my seams open. But with hand stitching, it's important to press them to one side. It gives that seam some extra stability. Now, another thing I'm going to do when I load it onto the long arm is add an extra layer of just white fabric underneath the quilt top. And what that will do is over time, if any of those seams do start to open up, or if any of these old vintage fabrics start to wear out, there will be that extra layer of fabric so that the batting isn't exposed. Now, I know there's gonna be people in the comments complaining that I am machine quilting a vintage hand-stitched quilt top like this, but at the end of the day, it's going to make this quilt top usable, and it's also going to prolong the life of this quilt top by adding in that structure. There are so many unfinished quilts out there because people feel like it was hand-stitched, it must be hand-quilted, and those poor quilt tops are just gonna sit in the closet and rot. This is going to get it to a usable state where someone can love it and cherish it and make memories with it. So let's get pressing. Now, this quilt top does lay pretty flat, which is very nice. There are a lot of spots where there's quite a bit of overhang on the seams, and I am going to leave that, but I want to press it nice and flat so that it doesn't get caught on the foot of my long arm. Any tucks or folds I want to make sure is in a seam and not in the middle of a piece of fabric wherever I can avoid it. As I'm pressing, I'm also checking to make sure that there are no seams where the raw edges are exposed on the front of the quilt. And if there are, I will just tuck them inside. And again, as I'm long arming it, if I see any of those, I will just tuck them away real quick. I'm really excited to see how this one comes out. And I'm even more excited to show it to all of you because I know some of you have quilt tops in your closets that you would love to be able to put on a bed and enjoy, but are afraid to have it quilted. All right, it's been about 30 minutes, so I've got the quilt top ready to go. I have that white fabric pieced, so this is big enough to go under the entire quilt top. And then I found this, it's got little red blossoms on it that we are going to use for the backing, and I think it's gonna go pretty well. So come back tomorrow, I'm gonna get this loaded on the long arm, show you how that's done, and maybe I'll even show you what pantograph I'm gonna use.